You're watching WSBT 22 News, first at 4.
Tornadoes tear through central Indiana, leaving incredible damage in their wake. The National Weather Service has confirmed 11 tornadoes hit the state yesterday, and that includes a powerful EF3, which hit Kokomo. Amazingly, no one was killed or severely injured in this, but these storms have definitely left their mark on portions of the state. We begin first at 4 here with team coverage on these storms. I want to start with WSBT 22 meteorologist Ed Russo. He's live in Kokomo. And Ed, you are seeing just some incredible damage out that way.
Yeah, Jen, it's absolutely just crazy what's happened here. I mean, look at the roof to this home. This is one of the hardest hit areas on the south side of Kokomo. This is F3 damage because we have some walls of this house, exterior walls, that have completely collapsed. And notice this record player right here hasn't moved, but we have the ceiling fan, which is completely collapsed to the floor. There's other stuff in here where you literally don't know where it came from. And I want to show you something that's very interesting. This is an interior hallway. So we're walking through an interior hallway. Here's an interior bathroom, okay? Now we're headed to a room that's on the exterior of the house. This is where you do not want to be in a tornado on a home with the first floor because you leave yourself exposed. This right here, again, we're walking back through the interior hallway. This is why it's safe to be in an interior room, interior hallway in a tornado, because you will have the most walls still standing around you. You'll be protected. And this is what we always tell people whenever there's a tornado moving through, interior room, lowest floor. That theory was put to test in this very house. And the owners, which thankfully weren't even here, would have survived, most likely, if they were in an interior room or bathroom. Just unbelievable devastation here. This house is a copy of many other houses that look just like this across the neighborhood. And coming up on WSBT 22 News at 5 and 6, we're going to hear from some of those survivors that went through some of the terrible destruction that we saw yesterday. Live in Kokomo, I'm WSBT 22 First Alert meteorologist Ed Russo.
And again, no deaths there, but that is chilling to see so many lives turned upside down there. We're getting a better look at the scope of the damage in Kokomo and the surrounding area. Here's a closer look at what happened when those storms hit.
I just heard thunder and rain. I didn't know what was going on, and I just looked out and went, oh my.
The massive EF3 twister barreled through the city of Kokomo. Frightened customers inside this restaurant watched as the powerful winds leveled a Starbucks.
Oh my God, Starbucks just got blown over.
No one inside was seriously hurt.
All of a sudden I heard a loud bang, and I looked up at my ceiling and it actually caved in.
Witnesses say it took just seconds to tear apart the Park Place apartments. Kathleen Marsh took cover in her bathroom.
It blew my window out, and then that was it. I just ran downstairs. I was just so scared.
Hundreds of people were forced out of their homes in Howard County, and more than 35,000 people were reported without power across the state.
We'll be here as long as we need to be to make sure that...
Stepping away from the campaign trail, Indiana Governor and Republican Vice Presidential nominee Mike Pence said it was remarkable that no one was seriously injured.
I want to say Hoosiers are breathing a sigh of relief after a very tough day of weather, but there's a lot of hurting families out there. And I encourage every Hoosier to remember these communities in their prayers.
That line of storms also pushed through northwest Ohio. Police report scattered damage in the area, but no reports of any injuries. Chief Meteorologist Matt Rudkin tracked those storms yesterday as we were here. And Matt, we had said earlier that the National Weather Service had confirmed 11 tornadoes, but that number likely will change, right?
Oh, it will most certainly go up. They go out and survey the damage to find the path of the tornado, the length of the path, the width of the path, how much destruction it did. These were storm reports, certainly more than 11 tornadoes symbols on here, right? So the National Weather Service will go out and go to each one of these reports and confirm if they are tornadoes or straight line wind. That number will likely go up, and this will probably go in the books as one of the top 10 biggest Indiana tornado outbreaks ever on record since records began in the late 1800s. This is what everybody wants to see today, right? Storm tracker radar is all clear. Here's a live look out in Dowagiac where we're seeing some sunshine peek through the clouds. Temperatures right around 80 degrees there in Cass County. Some other temperatures in your hometown, 80 in Syracuse, 79 In Knox, it is 77 in Benton Harbor. Up in southwest Michigan, just a little bit cooler than the rest of us, most of you in the 70s right now. Here's a look at the forecast the next several hours. We'll actually see clouds start to decrease, maybe a shower or two from now through about 8 p.m. But eventually we'll go mostly clear by 11. Coming up in your forecast, we'll look ahead to the weekend in just a few minutes.
But we do know that there are about 25 plow trucks out across South Bend right now plowing all of the roads. Now here at 31 in the bypass, conditions a little bit less than ideal. Drivers are telling us visibility is not so great and lots of slush still on the roads. Now this is the type of snow that we're talking about here. You've heard us talk about this for the past day or so, this really thick type of real dense snow. This is the kind of stuff that's going to be difficult to get off your windshields this morning. Now, we also wanted to check in with the latest road conditions for you. In St. Joseph County and Elkhart County, really nothing other than just some slide-offs again, besides that plow truck that is stuck that we mentioned. Again, that's just right on US 20 outside of South Bend. We also checked in with LaPorte County, who had told us that they've got some county roads that are pretty much impassable at this point, so they're working to get through a lot of those areas. We also checked in with the toll road. We know there they've got some semis in some ditches that they're going to pretty much have to wait for all this snow before being able to remove those. We've got a live update for you coming up in about a half hour. Live in St. Joseph County, Suzanne Spencer, WSBT 22 News.
All right, Suzanne, thanks very much. And that backup she mentioned because of the Stuck's plow is US 20 at Tulip. That's not far from New Carlisle. And we need to go further south to check in with WSBT 22's Alex Elich. She's checking on road conditions throughout Marshall County and the surrounding counties.
Yeah, Bob, that's right. I'm here in downtown Bremen where there is a travel warning. So that means do not travel on these roads unless it is an emergency. There's really only one way to describe these roads right now, and it is rough. They are slick, and the wind is causing some heavy snow drifts. So if you can stay in today, do, because these roads are really rough. And not only is there a travel warning in Marshall County, but there's also one in Fulton County as well. And I just got off the phone with police in Kosciuszko County who said that they do have multiple slide-offs in that area, and all government offices are closed in Kosciuszko County today. So in the southern part of our viewing area, definitely take caution and take your time while driving today. We had even seen a slide-off on our way to this location. We'd actually stopped and helped that woman out of her car, and she is safe, but that sort of gives you an idea of how bad these roads truly are. So definitely take caution, and if you can stay in today, do that. And I will continue to call police all morning long, and we will have an update for you in the next 30 minutes. Live in downtown Bremen, Alex Elich, WSBT 22 News.
First, fast, accurate. You're watching WSBT 22 First in the Morning with Bob Montgomery and Leanne Tokars.
Good morning. It is 5 o'clock, and we are following some breaking weather news right now. This is a live look in South Bend. You can see the glare on the lens. It is still raining heavily.
Yeah, dangerous flooding impacting thousands in our area right now. WSBT 22 First in the Morning has your first alert team coverage.
Our team covering the hardest hit areas all around the region right now. Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot will tell us how much rain we saw in just a few moments.
And our Veronica Jean Seltzer has been watching the floods throughout the night. But first, we want to start with Kristen Bean. She is live in South Bend. Kristen.
Good morning, Bob and Leanne. We are here at Central Fire Station in South Bend off Michigan Street, where city officials are going to be holding a press conference in the next half hour. They're going to be talking about some of the damage we've seen in this area, the amounts of rain we got, the response that they've had, and resources that people can find if they're struggling this morning as they wake up and discover flooding or their cars are flooding. Now, we do know that at least 2 families had to be rescued overnight after flooding occurred. City officials tell me one is at what's a rescue shelter, O'Brien Center. The other is staying with friends and family. Now, city officials do tell me that they are opening a center to get help. That'll be the O'Brien Center. I believe that's north of Ireland. But again, city officials here in about a half hour holding a press conference. I was just talking to a battalion chief here at the fire station. He says in his years, he's never seen flooding like this. We see a lot of this type of flooding on TV, on the national news, but this happened in South Bend overnight. The key here this morning, as you're waking up and going to work, don't drive through large puddles if you can't see the bottom, and don't drive through large bodies of water. There are some dangerous situations out there. There are people being evacuated. We've heard of reports of a sinkhole, at least one sinkhole in South Bend, and of course some people overnight being rescued. We're continuing to follow the story. We're going to bring you this press conference live here on WSBT 22 at 5:30. The mayor is expected to speak and at least one other city official. Again, live here on WSBT 22 at 5:30. Live here at Central Fire Station, Kristen Bean, WSBT 22 News.
All right, Kristen, thanks very much. I know we're on standby for that. We got record rainfall almost for the entire month. It's what we would typically get in August. We got in less than 24 hours. So let's get to WSBT 22's Veronica Jean Seltzer.
Yeah, she joins us live in St. Joseph County. Veronica.
Leanne, this was one of the hardest hit parts of South Bend and all of St. Joseph County. We are at Ironwood and Ireland, an intersection. I was here earlier shooting some video of this. It's changed a little bit since I first saw it. You can see those 3 cars. There was water pretty much all the way up there. You can see in that video what it looked like. The South Bend Fire Department had to come in here with their boat to rescue people that were stranded in those cars. They came in, they took the boat, they basically went all the way over to the cars, rescued people, brought them back, and then they have now put up barriers everywhere here so that people don't try to keep coming through here. However, I can tell you that we have already seen several people. In fact, I'm looking at a pair of headlights right now over there. People keep trying to come through here. They see, it's hard to see in the dark, and they think that they can come through. It's really important. I mean, I'm tempted to, everyone is, but it's so important to really not stop in those puddles, we saw already a car whose alternator basically went out. In fact, even had to help push them up here into the parking lot that we're standing in. So that's the kind of thing that we're seeing out here tonight. It's a little bit rainy still this morning, but again, you really need to be careful. Those dark puddles, it's hard to see early this morning where and how deep those puddles really are. So it's important to go slowly and to keep your eyes out. And if you see a puddle, turn around. Don't go through the puddle. I know it's annoying, but it will definitely keep you safe. All right, reporting live in South Bend, Veronica Jean Seltzer, WSBT 22 News.
All right, VJ, thanks very much. Boy, what a great point she made. It's dark outside. We can't tell how deep some of those areas of flooded roads are, and this is going to be an issue that might continue.
That's right. And now for the latest in the forecast, we want to send it over to meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
Yeah, good morning. We are talking more rain showers. So we've had these issues already last night and early this morning, and it's still raining. So it's likely we're going to see continued issues in the areas that are already problem areas, but it's also possible that we may see new issues arise, especially as we get to the light of the day. If you look here at the radar, this is the last 2 hours, and we continue to feed in that water from the southwest. And while most of you are getting some of the lighter showers, areas that have had the heaviest rain, like that southwestern side of South Bend, still getting the heaviest rain showing up here on the radar. But that also includes areas like Mishawaka and Granger and Elkhart, especially that northeast now corner of Elkhart between Bristol and the LaGrange County line, seeing some of the heaviest rain showers. Rain totals, well, I want to show you this picture because where you see this yellow and orange, this is where rain totals have been between about 5 and 10 inches of rain. That's why we're seeing so many of the problems across the area, because that amount of water is a major deal. Some of the heaviest between Walkerton and North Liberty and also through Lakeville, La Paz area. So that box there of St. Joseph County is where we're seeing the highest totals out of the whole area. But we do continue to see areas outside of that highest total that are seeing some issues. We have this flood warning, the green area, and that's going to continue until we get into the afternoon hours. That's when the rain will finally start to taper off. So we do get the rain showers this morning. They're still going to be pretty steady this morning. The good news is by the time we get to tonight, our chances of rain completely diminish. So we'll work our way through that forecast and talk about the temperatures coming up in 10 minutes.
22 News on Fox.
It is 7 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Bob Montgomery. Breaking news we've been following all morning long. Heavy rain falling overnight. It really is creating major flooding problems.
We've received several photos into our newsroom of the flooding. Take a look at this one. The water right up to the door at this Casey's General Store.
Yeah, this is an issue that is really commonplace throughout the entire region. You can see this home also seeing some flood issues, and unfortunately a number of homes have flooding issues within the home as well. This is going to be a problem probably for the next couple of days is what we're hearing here this morning. In fact, you can see some of this video from overnight, some of these pictures coming in, other angles from different shots around the region this morning from flood issues. That is the Martin store this morning at Erskine Plaza.
WSBT 22 First in the Morning has your first alert team coverage.
And we're going to go first to WSBT 22's Veronica Jean Seltzer. She's live in Ireland and Ironwood this morning, and we can see the water receding there, VJ, but boy, the problem's left behind. Now 6:50, and this is what you're waking up to if you live in Marshall County this morning. Look at that snowfall.
Yeah, snow falling sideways there in Marshall County. It's a first alert weather day, and we have crews throughout the entire area bringing you updates on the roads. WSBT 22's Ed Russo is in Berrien County this morning, and he joins us live with an update. Ed.
Hey guys, yeah, we've moved a little bit. We're now on Main Street in Niles, and still snowing, still sticking to everything. It's the heavy, wet snow. Look at the pole there; it just sticks to the side. Beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful picture when the sun comes up and everything just glistens. But it's even though the wind has, even though the snow is wet, it's easy to pack. I mean, just look at how you can pack it very easily into a snowball. It still drifts across the roads, and we're seeing that especially the case on the east to west facing roads. This is Main Street in Niles, and notice the plows have come through, and notice the median, which is now just a bunch of snow, has fallen. That's what's basically fallen overnight. So there has been quite a bit of accumulation across Berrien and Cass County. And I talked to the Berrien County Sheriff, and he was telling me that there are plenty of people in rural locations actually getting stuck in drifts. Redfield Road, another big spot in Cass and Berrien County, where we've seen slide-offs. And I moments ago talked to Berrien County Dispatch, and they told me that there's basically accidents everywhere, not big ones, but a lot of slide-offs to be reported. So you just got to allow extra time and take it easy and stay off the roads if you can, but I know a lot of people are going to be heading to work this morning. Live in Berrien County, I'm WSBT 22 First Alert meteorologist Ed Russo.
Some of the water was chest deep in some areas in St. Joseph County, covering mailboxes even. Residents in southern St. Joseph County say this is the worst flooding that they've seen in 20 years. Now, NIPSCO and Southwest Fire Territory tell me they had reports of collapsed basements even. One man says he lost a dozen of his chickens because they died in floodwater.
All this can be replaced. You know, we're still breathing. Everybody's still here. You know, the animals are replaceable. We'll hunker down, and neighbors will get together, and we're pulling stuff out of people's basements now, and we'll get through it.
Some people I spoke to were actually headed out to family members' houses or neighbors' houses, but that's not an option for everyone. Some people are still homebound, and safety experts tell me if you are still in your home, do remain on the upper floors. Don't try to go into a basement area if there's still standing water. Wait till some of that water recedes before you assess the damage. Live in Mishawaka, Hillary Powell, WSBT 22 News.
South Bend Fire says it responded to 117 calls during the height of the flooding. They did 13 water rescues. Fortunately, there were no injuries, but the fast-moving water from Bowman Creek did damage to homes along East Fox Street. You can see it eating away at the ground near the foundation of this house there. Now, the situation is also bad north of the state line. WSBT 22's Danielle Kennedy continues our team coverage. She spent the day in Niles. Danielle, this has been a very emotional day for people there.
Rick, the damage from this storm has left some without a home. We spent the afternoon with a family who worried their house was going to collapse right from underneath them.
This actually was my flower bed. Luckily, I didn't have any flowers in it.
Mercedes Nyheis and her family are still in one piece, a very different picture than the ground broken beneath their home.
It's washed all the way up underneath the stairs, a little bit on the other side.
The foundation of their home washed out in last night's storm, while Brandon was home with their 3 boys.
I heard this loud crash, almost sounded like a pretty bad wreck out front. So I looked out the front door and didn't see anything out front except for a big black void where the flower bed used to be.
So he called Mercedes right away and rushed the boys to the back of the house.
I was scared that I wouldn't make it home in time and the house would just collapse.
They quickly learned the damage was even worse than they thought.
In the process, it knocked out our main water line, our sewage pipes. It destroyed our home.
Today, Mercedes quickly collected what she could from inside, not knowing when her family might be able to come home again.
Now it's just clean up and repair from there.
Bricks can be replaced, but a family can't be.
My family is still okay. We were able to walk away from this with no damages to ourselves. We may have you know, a broken home, but there's still hope.
The couple rents the home from a landlord in South Carolina. They say they don't know the total cost of the damage, but they're working on with a contractor to figure that out. They're staying with a family since they're not allowed to live at their house. At the live desk, Danielle Kennedy, WSBT 22 News.
Well, Notre Dame says 42 buildings on campus took on water overnight. Crews there spent the day pumping that water out and making repairs. Now, they say about 75% of the buildings affected experienced only minor damage. Several other businesses were impacted too. These photos were sent to us from the Martins at Erskine Village. This is at the corner of Ireland and Miami in South Bend. A lot of water on the floor. Employees are drying things out. They don't believe they lost a lot of merchandise. The store will reopen Thursday morning at 6.
And this part of Indiana is not known for flooding like this. That means a lot of people do not have flood insurance. It's making the cleanup process challenging for some. If you don't have insurance, local agents call a restoration company. Even if you cannot afford their services, they may actually be able to offer you advice on what to do yourself. But agents say the best defense is prevention.
You know, keep your roof up to date, keep your gutters clear, you know, just your general maintenance in your house. Make sure your sump pump is up to date, and yeah, just things like that.
His best advice is to pay special attention to your sump pump. Motors on those machines are small. They can burn out very quickly. All right, so let's move now to Chief Meteorologist Matt Rudkin. How much rain did we see overnight?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second, but unfortunately, we're still tracking a little bit of rain out there. Our friends in our southwestern communities down by Pulaski County see some heavy rain. You do not need any more. Areas down there saw 7+ inches of rain right towards Winnemac, Star City, moving in towards parts of eventually Carroll and Cass County, so Logansport area. We'll see this soon. But far southern Pulaski County, there's Star City, there's Thornhope, the town of Pulaski, for example, getting a downpour right around 119 as you move south. That is it, though, in most of the region. So I want to zoom back out and look at storm totals as far as the rainfall goes. These are impressive numbers, folks. I mean, typically in August, we see 3.5 inches of rain. Many of you tripled that in 18 hours. That's why we saw significant flooding. I mean, that's just an incredible amount of water. The sweet spot was southern Cass County, right down 23, which is right there. Saw the heaviest, what's called training, over and over the same location. These thunderstorms went 11 inches of rain right around North Liberty and Walkerton. Also, US 30 and 23 corridor, right there, saw about 11 inches of rain. And down towards Knox, North Judson area, 7 to 10 inches of rain. Beautiful sunshine out there, trying to evaporate some of that flood water. It's going to take some time, though, with all that rain we saw. We will look ahead to some statistics about this rain, how rare it is, and look ahead to that 7-day forecast coming up.
You're watching WSBT 22 News, first at 4.
All right, take a look. You are looking at what the National Weather Service has now determined was a tornado. It formed near the bypass and Mayflower in St. Joseph County. Before it touched down, that EF0 ended up tearing up trees, leaving thousands of people without power and a lot of damage to clean up near Adams High School. Now, first at 4 here, we have the very latest on this storm that has left its mark on our area. You see WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Matt Rudkin. He's joining us live in the Sunnymead area. And Matt, you spotted the rotation, which is what we were seeing here, that was on radar last night. And today, the National Weather Service has confirmed exactly what you saw. Matt, you were right.
Yeah, certainly you can see the rotation and some of the damage here. First off, this big tree, once you notice, the way it's facing is to the east, which would be the storm motion. But if you look a little bit farther to the east, some of those trees are actually facing to the north and even a little northwest, which would mean there was at least some rotation with this storm. Now, the National Weather Service classified this as a downburst or a microburst with a tornado within it. So what does that mean here? I've got a prop here, a water bottle, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what a microburst or a downburst is. So focus here on the water. I'm going to get down for my photographer here and watch what happens when it hits the cement, all right? See how it goes down and kind of spreads out? That's exactly what happened last night. The wind, the rain, pushed that air down to the ground, and once it hits the ground, it's got to go somewhere. So it spread out in all directions, and one of the ways it spread out, it also formed a little weak tornado. Winds likely 70, maybe 80 miles an hour. National Weather Service was down here this morning surveying this damage. They'll have their official report probably within the next few hours. And of course, once they release that, we will share it with you. But luckily here, a fairly weak tornado. I mean, there's obviously some tree damage. There's a garage back there that was lifted off its foundation, and we'll show you that coming up a little later here at 4. But all in all, just some storm damage, nothing too significant. Certainly does resemble an EF0 tornado. We'll have more on the damage coming up here a little bit later. Live in South Bend, I'm Matt Rudkin, WSBT 22 News.
All right, Matt, thank you. And meteorologist Abby Wepler joins me now. And there's a new concern because we're talking about the first frost of the season.
Absolutely. And the majority of us are going to be dealing with this. And even if you aren't included in our advisory, and I'll show you where it is as I zoom in right now and take you to our immediate area. So that would be Pulaski and Fulton counties. Even if you aren't included, I would still do whatever you need to do to protect those plants. It goes into effect overnight tonight. So at 4 a.m. it officially starts, and then it will expire at 8 a.m. My advice to you, if you have any sensitive vegetation, any of those plants that need protected, either bring them inside or push them against the house tonight or cover them up before you go to bed, because this is going to be an overnight thing. Temperatures right now, it is a lot cooler. 56 in South Bend, 57 in Niles, 58 in Goshen, and even in Syracuse. So your after-school forecast, we're going to be dealing with mostly clear skies, calm winds, and temperatures already in the low 50s by 7 o'clock. So patchy frost kicks off our Friday, but we have a weekend warm-up to track. I'll show you those numbers coming up in minutes.
First, fast, accurate. You're watching WSBT 22 First in the Morning with Bob Montgomery and Leanne Tokars.
Wow, really tells the story. New video overnight from Northeast Indiana. Strong winds, whiteout conditions.
And it's a similar story closer to home. This is a live look from Marshall County right now, where a travel warning has been declared. Heavy snow overnight, power outages, dangerous conditions throughout our area.
You're waking up to a first alert weather day. WSBT 22 has your team coverage.
Yeah, we have crews throughout the entire area watching the roads to keep you safe. Alex Elich is in Marshall County, Suzanne Spencer is in South Bend, and meteorologist Ed Russo is in Berrien County.
We will be checking in with all of them throughout the course of this newscast, but first we need to start with WSBT 22 meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
Good morning. Yes, we do declare this a first alert weather day because this is still day 2 that you really need to pay attention if you have to travel.
Well, we've had a taste of summer with a few days in the 80s already. This may have you wondering what our summer is going to look like.
Yeah, the WSBT 22 First Alert meteorologists have been looking over all the data they have. Matt and Abby are here to break it all down for us. And Abby, no more El Nino that brought some of the record warmth this past winter.
That's right, El Nino is out, and we are now transitioning into a La Nina. This refers to cooler than normal water temperatures in the Pacific Ocean. Now, even though that's a long ways from us, that cool water can change normal air and water currents around the globe, and it's the trickle-down effect that means it'll change our normal weather patterns here too. For this summer, though, it looks like just a small impact. La Nina's biggest impact is usually in the winter, so of course, stay tuned for that. And forecasting for this summer, though, we dug up stats from other similar La Nina years. These 5 summers you see, 1971, 74, 2000, 2005, and 2011, were all warmer and drier than normal, and the hottest and driest conditions were late summer and early fall. Based on past trends and a weak La Nina impact, our First Alert weather team has prepared our forecast for the summer, and here's Matt with the specifics on that.
That's right, Abby. The big thing that everybody wants to know is how hot is it going to be? We're predicting that temperatures will be warmer than normal early in the season, but just slightly. The really hot conditions should hit midsummer and into the early fall. We averaged 12 days of 90 degrees or better, but our prediction is that we get more than that. We expect 17 days to hit 90 degrees or above. The second part of the forecast is precipitation. Our prediction is that rainfall will be slightly less than normal. And with the most heat late in the season, we're expecting storms to be more active and the potential for severe weather chances to be higher late summer and early fall as well. So there you go. We hear a lot about, we talk a lot about El Nino, now La Nina, which is the exact opposite like Abby talked about. In the summer months, it has a little bit of impact, as you saw. But it significantly impacts our winter. If things progress like we think they are, that would mean this upcoming winter, would likely be a real snowy one. La Nina it brings up a lot of Gulf moisture, slams it up against Canadian air, and you get really good snowstorms. But we'll focus on that. How about then, like October, November?
I'm not ready to start talking about
Yeah,
Let's think about summer. Well, there you go. You know, people have been wondering. They've been asking, what's it going to be like? So
yeah, not too bad. Looks a little warm. But we're due for that. It was I think 2012, the summer where we had several triple-digit days.
Right.
We may see a couple of those. But the drier you get, the drier your soil, and the easier it is to heat things up. So we'll have to see how it turns out. But all in all, I'm just glad summer's coming. I don't know about you guys.
I'm ready for some warm days.
All right,
Definitely
Matt,
about that.
Now, your accurate first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Matt Rudkin.
You gave us the winter forecast just a little bit ago, but boy, it doesn't feel like winter's coming anytime soon.
No, it looks pretty mild here the next few days. We'll take a look outside right now. Temperatures not mild tonight, though. We're in the 40s. 47 in South Bend and Syracuse, 46 in Warsaw, 47 Niles and Dowagiac, 49 in Benton Harbor, and Winnemac, 46 the current temperature in Knox. Winds are from the north and west, keeping us fairly cool this evening, and that trend's going to continue again a little bit. Look at the wind chill values, though. When you factor in that breeze, it feels like it's 44 Goshen, 47 LaPorte, so 2-3 degrees cooler than the actual air temperature. Much cooler up north, but look at the warmth start to build up to our west. That warm will get here as we head towards parts of the weekend. Looks really nice. Here's a look at the boundary between the warm front and cold fronts where you get really, really mild, and that will get here just in time for Saturday. So if you're heading to Chicago for the baseball game, Notre Dame's here at home. I know a lot of communities doing the trick-or-treating this weekend. Looks okay, looks mild. Here's our Futurecast model starting this evening. Still dealing with the clouds, maybe a sprinkle, but almost everybody stays dry. And that trend will continue as we go towards tomorrow. Actually see some sunshine, maybe a little bit of fog tomorrow morning, but that fog lifts. We'll see some sunshine, warm us up to the 60s. So that'll be nice and even warmer for Saturday. Temperatures are flirt with 70 degrees. But anytime you're this warm this time of year, you've got to factor in the moisture that'll be here. So maybe a sprinkle or two on Saturday, but nothing that will wash out your plans. Temperatures overnight tonight fall into the 30s. Again, a little bit of patchy fog is possible. 36 down in Warsaw, 35 in Goshen. We warm up into the 60s tomorrow afternoon. Low to even mid-60s as you get down towards Pulaski and Stark counties. Tomorrow night, notice temperatures are going to be in the 60s or so. So we don't really fall. Tomorrow night, temperatures stay steady, and then we warm into the 70s. By Saturday. 40 degrees tonight with mostly cloudy skies for your day tomorrow. Right around 60, a couple of you a little bit warmer, especially your southern counties with a mix of sun and clouds. And the next 7 days will reiterate very warm conditions. Partly cloudy on Saturday. I put in that 20%, just a pop-up shower. Anytime this time of year when you warm up like that, it's easy to get some rain. 57 on Sunday, then we warm right back up. Halloween looks nice with temperatures 5 to 10 degrees above average into the mid-60s. So no snow this year. Kids don't have to wear the heavy jackets. And we remain mild as we kick off early November.
Now, your accurate first alert weather forecast with meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
Gary, at the top of the news, we showed you some of the damage around the area, including in Kosciuszko County. In fact, heard a soundbite from a man. He said, I swear it was a tornado that came ripping through. You just found out about some of the damage in Mentone.
Yeah, the National Weather Service actually went out and surveys damage after storms, and they determined it was not a tornado, it was straight line winds. However, think of, that doesn't mean it wasn't damaging. You have two types of winds, really. You have the straight line winds and the ones that go in a circle. And
wind is wind.
Wind is wind, and it did cause a lot of damage. Fortunately, many of you not having to clean up too much, but for some of you, it wasn't wind that's causing problems. We have other issues with some of the heavy rain showers. So I have some of the rain totals that we had, and this is just the last 24 hours. And Georgetown is in the north side of South Bend, just north of South Bend, over 3.5 inches of rain from yesterday. Granger had about 2.5. So I know we've had some calls and some issues with some of the drains and some of the problems with the water. Bristol about 2.5 inches. South Bend out at the airport, which is on the west side of town, had about 1.5 inches. So that was quite a bit of water in a short amount of time. We have not added to that today here on First Alert Storm Tracker radar. Conditions have been not dry because the air still has a lot of water, but we haven't been seeing any rain showers. Well, we are seeing rain showers to our north, and they're just some scattered kind of spotty showers, which you can see just around Grand Rapids. We've had some of that over towards Lansing. Most of these showers don't have a lot of measurable rain. I do expect to get a few light showers this afternoon, very scattered, not storms, but I don't expect this to really contribute any more to some of the water we already have on the ground. If you look at the winds obviously caused some damage yesterday, but the wind direction now out of the north and the northeast, we have wind speeds that are all under 10 miles an hour. So the air this afternoon will still feel humid, at least for a while. And as the wind becomes a little more prominent and for a longer period of time out of the north, we'll start to get in some drier conditions. And by the time we get into tonight, that will help clear us out. But at this point, you can see on this wider picture, here's what we're tracking. Those showers are mostly been a Wisconsin and northern Michigan event, but we're on the southern edge of that. So an occasional light shower this afternoon, not out of the question. Maybe you've seen a couple of those sprinkles, but no big storms tracked with this system. In fact, this was going to last for a few more hours, and then we're going to be back to seeing some clear skies overnight. In between some of the showers, we've been seeing some sunshine in between some of the clouds, I should say. Futurecast is a little overdone for the afternoon hours, but again, you get the idea that a couple of scattered showers are possible through this evening. Now watch the clouds overnight. By the time you get up tomorrow morning, we are going to see nice clear skies. That gives us a nice cool morning in the 50s with less humid air before we start our climb right back up into the 80s. We start to feel that tomorrow afternoon, and we really feel that over the weekend. So your first alert weather forecast the rest of today, 77 to about 80 degrees. There are a few spots now that are in the mid 70s, so you may go up more than 2 degrees, but most of you will just hit about 77 degrees. There is a chance for rain, some scattered showers, but if you've looked outside, it's partly cloudy. We'll see a mix of the sun and cloud in between some of those showers. Now tonight we clear out. We drop all the way down to 57 overnight tonight, and then for tomorrow we're right back up near 80 degrees. If you're a little bit farther to the south, you'll be a little bit warmer. Mid 80s on Saturday and Sunday. Really great forecast for Friday and Saturday, a summertime forecast. Our next chance for storms or rain showers that would keep you inside. Like the rain this afternoon is not going to keep you inside, but the showers that we will return on Sunday.
And the letters on her shirt. Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay, if you have time. If you don't want to, you can just come back here and sit and watch everyone else. To your front.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, now turn and look at turn and look that way. Now point to anything you want and tell me what's going on. And then we'll go. Yes, now can you point to the sunshine?
Inside, which causes it to go in like that.
Fast is going from. You'll see it. Look at it. You'll see it go from the solid to a gas real quick. See the bubbles?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm touching clouds.
We're touching clouds.
I'm touching clouds.
One more in here. So you can literally, if you cup your hand, you can probably get it in your hand.
Whoa!
Now remember, the water's hot, so keep your hands out of the. Whoa.
Warmer and hotter air. When we put the flame inside the bottle, what happens inside the bottle? Does the air get hotter? So the air molecules expand.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm gonna say no, so I'm gonna ask my dad.
Volcano style.